Greetings and welcome to Wizards of Fun. My name is Eric and you are watching round 5 from SCG Con Vegas, which yes, happened a few weeks ago and a new set has since come out and the meta has changed. But quickly coming back from this event, which I had a lot of fun at, by the way. This is Cal that I'm playing against, by the way, in the Mirror Druid matchup before the Druid got a bit of a nerf. It got an errata. Leading up to Gothic after this event. And, but when I came back from this event, about a week later, Gothic came out, and I've just been so busy with that and work. You know, it's the end of the year and the holiday season. It's been crazy. So, although we're watching a pretty old match here from a meta that is no longer relevant, we're playing with 50 card decks and 30 card atlases. Which is now since changed since Gothic came out. Gothic now has 60 spells, 30 sites, and 10 in the collection. But just for the archive's sake, just for preservation's sake, I wanted to still upload these matches for myself and promise for the future matches that when I come back from an event, I'll get these uploaded first really quickly. And then any other edits happening for those events, I will work on after getting these up because I think that they should go immediately. So looking at the hand here, I decided to pitch the cards that I don't think I will need for a little bit. So I get rid of Atlantean Fate, which is hard to get rid of. And I also get rid of my Mirror Realm as a site. And I didn't actually quite see the other card. You may have caught it. And my opponent here is... Okay, so it looks like we ended up with a Snowball and a Trinket, so not a great starting hand for us. Trinket is not generally something I love to see turn 1, although in a Tawny, it can be okay. You know, you get Tawny every turn in this old format. Again, Druid has since been nerfed, so you don't get Tawny past turn 1. But, so I suppose it's not a total waste, but you'd rather see a minion, I think, here. This is, of course, the Mono Blue Water deck. And I'm only saying that to remind myself because it's been a while since I've watched this. Well, I haven't watched it yet, actually. I played in it, and I have yet to rewatch it. I remember the result of the match, but... And looks like I left a card on top. Sorry, I'm not paying so much attention to the match. You guys are probably catching more than I am, so... Oh, interesting. That's the Color Out of Space. I think that's the promo version, which is why I don't recognize it, but I could hear him say Color Out of Space. All right, I think that's a Captain Baldassare in the hand, which is not bad. Wondering if we want to play forward. Looks like we opt to use the Floodplain, which can be good against an aggressive Druid if they happen to be fire. We don't know that yet. You and I know that because we're watching this video and he showed his hand and we saw a Vile Imp and a River of Blood. But Eric in this video does not know this. So deciding not to move my Tawny forward in order to prevent a potential desert because we don't know what he's doing yet. I figured it's not worth moving it up and having it just get pinged to death for free if he plays a desert. And looks like I think that's a River of Blood. And yep. So Violet comes down and we are out of range of his Genesis effect. So it's good that I kept the Tawny back here. I will be really curious to see how Druid plays moving forward or if people even play Druid anymore. I think it's still a really cool avatar. It just got nerfed so hard and so many new avatars just came out with Gothic that I think everyone's wanting to play with the new toys and trying new things. Druid's has certainly had its time in the spotlight. It was absolutely at the top of the meta for a long time. Yeah, I didn't quite see the first card that I pitched there at the beginning, so sorry that I missed that. But it was clearly a card that I didn't feel like I needed in my opening hand. So looking to get another site going. And at this point, it's a question of do we play it forward? Or do we play it back? It's a pond in the back. And what card was I opting to play here? I'm going to try to also make a better effort when I film these in the future. It looks like I just placed the frog for no ETB effect, just to have. I suppose. I'm curious my thinking of that. Just that I don't have another minion to play. It's like I may as well play something. moving Tawny out of the way of any more potential, you know, Genesis or shooting a projectile at the end of the turn in the form of the, what's it called? Colicky Dragons, I think is the name. He has a Simulacrum in his hand. So playing the Steam Druid. I've never played as a Steam Druid myself. I've played against it, but I'm just not as familiar as what typically goes into it. I know it was very recently a super popular deck, but I just haven't spent the time to really analyze and or play with it myself. I think that's one of the best ways to learn an opponent's deck is just to play with it yourself, because you learn what they're hoping to get, and I mean that applies to any game, I think. All right, got the red cap Poweries, and again, apologies for the shine on these cards here. Not much I can do about that. I suppose that was probably my thinking, where I played the Bullfrog back, where if they play something with charge, I can block with it, and it looks like that worked out. But he is still getting in for a couple damage. Looks like I'm at 17, I think. So another thing I'm going to make sure to do with future recordings is I'm going to use my personal phone, which I can keep charged, as the life counter, because it's visible on camera. That way I don't have to edit in the life totals or second guess the life totals, because as you can see, the pad that I am using in this video on the bottom left is not visible on camera. So I did learn a lot from filming at this event, you know, some do's and don'ts as far as the camera, but also on the editing side. Like I said, when I get home from an event, it'll be the first thing I upload, just day one, just download the footage. And sorry to bore you guys with the behind the scenes on editing. I just say this to myself because I feel a little bit behind on this event, because I am. But like I said, holiday season and Gothic coming out, it was inevitable. I was so happy to spend a few days opening Gothic. So yeah, we do put the trinket onto Tawny to remove the Violent. And then considering where to play this floodplain, wondering where it would be most effective to have that flooding effect. If we play it here, I'm wondering, you know, how I need to defend this. So this feels okay to me. Yeah, he's going to have 2 points that he can charge into, but he also won't kind of like corner me into a weird corner in the bottom right if I start moving that way. This just gives me a 2x2 grid to defend, which feels okay to me. I'm also no expert on site placement, but you kind of just have to go with your gut sometimes. I am looking forward to learning more about the thought behind some, strategic site placement moving forward. This next year with Gothic is going to be really, really fun. I hope to improve a lot. My ultimate goal is always just to be having fun no matter what. As much as I enjoy competitive stuff, it's as long as we're having fun, I think we're playing it right. So naturally playing the game, we will get stronger. All right, Valley of Delight comes down. I did not hear the threshold, but either fire or water. Lance and untaps at the end of the turn. All right. Lance tokens also recently got a little bit errated in that I believe when you have a minion that has a lance and that attacks into a site, it no longer breaks the lance. So the lance only breaks when attacking with a minion or with an enemy rather, which I believe is considered a buff, right? Yeah, to me it sounds like one. You keep the lance longer. You don't get to hit the site for an additional damage, but you also don't break your lance. So, you know, bit of a trade there. You do lose 1 power in your attack, but I think ultimately that is a net win. So Captain Baldassar, and I believe, did I see 2 snowballs? I don't know if I was running 2 snowballs in this deck. Is that what I saw? Yeah, 2 snowballs. So not what you want to see here. There's not a lot to... There's nothing I can really hit with those. Although if I was to do it now, I could, you know, deal 2 damage on his side. Of course, I need the 5 mana to do it, so I can't cast it just yet. But just having both of those in my hand at this current state of the game doesn't feel very good. Captain Baldassare can be good. Will likely get removed. Yep, and that's what we opt to do. Just explaining how the card works. Essentially, whenever Captain Baldassare attacks a site or a unit, the opponent discards 3 cards, and then I'm allowed to cast them. It doesn't have to be a successful strike, meaning I don't have to like declare an attack on a site and then they block it. I still attacked the site. I may not have, you know, struck it, but I'm like, I'm gonna attack this site. That is what does the trigger. So it is generally a card that forces them to use whatever removal they have in hand to get rid of it, because it's a very big threat. I mean, he could play something to block here. He could play whatever, but I would still get that trigger. He opts to play a Ruler of Thule. Get in for 3. And then coming in from the back with the Surrogans. Again, this is pre-errata. So the Lance does break. And I go down to 9. Taking 8 damage in 1 hit. But he did use all of his mana to do so. Moves Tawny back into the center. But as far as having Captain there, that's feeling pretty okay for me. Yes, he has a lot on my face, but I can always flip to Bruin. If I'm feeling greedy, I can go... I mean, not that Captain attacking is necessarily greedy. At the very worst, I get in for some damage and I make him discard a few cards. But we do need an answer for the things that are on my home site. Spell for turn. Again, note to future Eric, when you're playing with the camera above your head, show the camera your hand. So I'm going to get better at that. You know, you want to be able to show the camera your hand without showing your opponent. So you probably just kind of lift up the cards and then tilt them. I will make sure to do that, so we're not just speculating as we watch here. We'll obviously see what cards get played onto the field. But again, naturally, this being a new channel, with every video we upload, we're learning something that we could just do slightly better. One thing we could do slightly better too is just upgrading the camera. This is an old GoPro that I've had for many, many years. I think it's probably warranted that I buy a new one at some point soon. So I'll probably invest into whatever the most up-to-date GoPro is and just use that instead. I like the GoPro because it doesn't overheat. And I guess you could use a cell phone to record, but you know, space limitation is an issue. You can't just pop in an SD card in most phones. I don't think you even can, and maybe you can. No phone that I have ever owned has allowed for micro SD cards. So that's what's great with the GoPro. It never overheats. It draws almost no power. You plug it into a single power bank and it lasts you the entire weekend. So I personally have been enjoying using the GoPro. So I'm just calculating the threat to door here if we don't flip to Bruin. We opt to use a river, and there is a pirate ship on top, which we could afford to cast next turn. 5 mana floating here. And it looks like we go for... Oh, are we going for the snowball here? I think we are. Yep, so we move Captain Baldassare, and it's a bummer, but that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units in total. So it's going to carry everything over to his side, and he'll take 5 to the face. So not you know, it's a very inefficient way to do all of that. But hey, he had a lot of things on my home site. He had a Tawny right in the middle. So everything essentially got dragged all the way to his avatar and then exploded. If you visualize that in D&D terms, getting him down to 15 and myself to 9, resetting the board. Got a pirate ship on top of the deck, and we do have a pond that pirate ship can attack into. Again, pirate ship is waterbound, so it must be on a water site. It doesn't die if it goes on land, but it becomes disabled. So you'd have to figure out a way to reflood the site or disable your own pirate ship to remove the waterbound effect. So you can actually use disable on your own minions to your benefit if their active ability is a downside. And when I didn't mean disable, I'm sorry, I meant silence. So if silencing your own minion can sometimes make them stronger. Disabling is never good. And they cast a Boudica, which is a very big threat. Whenever one of my sites is successfully attacked, it deals an additional 3 damage. All right, sorry if you can hear me clicking here. I am just reminding myself to have Curiosa pulled up when I do these recordings. There are some cards that I sometimes need to review, and my keyboard is kind of a clicky mechanical one, so you will hear that in the audio. May consider changing that in the future. Koi Nixie in hand is always wonderful to see. Doesn't really help against a Boudica, but again, we do have another snowball. So if we do want to do something like that again, like you could flip to Bruin and then do it, that would be 3. And Boudica, I believe, is 3. Let me actually confirm that. It's 3 power, yeah. Costs 4 to cast and has 3 power, 3 fire threshold. Very, very strong card. I actually got my copy of Boudica signed. Margaret Organ Keene is the artist, and she was at this event. And I had her sign some of my favorites. I believe I had a Cornerstone signed, a Boudica signed, and then the Dispel promo foil I got signed. Super cool to have in the collection. I think for me personally, that will be kind of how I collect the game. Rather than keeping a lot of like the foils, I would just like to have some of my favorite cards signed by the artist. So you can see I've got the Brian Wackwitz signature Druid here. Same with the Tawny. I actually had him sign another Tawny in the gold lettering because I preferred that gold writing to the black. So although I don't currently play Druid anymore, it will always be kind of it was the first avatar I really played coming into Sorcery, and that means a lot. Yeah, so we're just discussing here that it's other allies that deals it. So Boudica doesn't have a threat of 6. It does have a threat of 3. But if Tawny attacks, that would deal the 1 from Tawny plus the 3 from Boudica, threatening 4. So feeling a little more comfortable here to not have to flip to Bruin or anything, to have it block the Boudica. I'm thinking, okay, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the field here. Sure, he might have a, you know, Koi Nixie. Nice. So removing that threat because Boudica is buffs other allies. I need to get rid of those other allies. So I play Koi Nixie to force Tawny to take a 1 step closer, which since it's airborne, it comes directly over because that's the closest step that it can take. And then cast a trinket on the Tawny. So actually just remembering how strong a trinket actually was in this meta because Tawny was a guaranteed minion throughout the whole game until you flip. Nowadays, I mean, Trinket's still quite good, don't get me wrong, but I don't think I would want it in my opening hand these days, personally. Depends on what deck you're playing, of course, but it's usually better to get things on the field that can accept a Trinket, and if you have 3 copies of Trinket in your deck, or maybe have 1 in your Silver Bullet, your collection, it's an option to grab. Vile Imp in hand is all I can really see here, so just kind of speculating on what he would maybe want to do. Something that strikes... No, it would have to strike the site to get the Boudica effect. So he's doubling Boudica. Oh my golly. So they buff each other. So that is 6 if I don't block. 3 damage plus the 3 from the copied Boudica effect. So now we have to consider, am I going to eat 6, go to 3? Or are we going to block that damage? It would... No, Koi Nixie only has 2 power, so it would not trade. It would be a chump. But what I could do is potentially chump this and then flip to Bruin. But even then, he could attack for 6 on the left side. So I would need something to play. Really wish I could see what was in my hand. So, again, reminder to self, future videos. I'm going to try to get better at this, you guys. I'm kind of figuring this out as I go. New camera, new recording styles, and a faster editing schedule upon return from an event are the lessons I took from this event. So happy to have learned those lessons. I still wanted to get these up and again on the channel. But I really look forward to posting more matches with Gothic and a lot of the new meta and some of the new cards and crazy mechanics. It's going to be really, really exciting. The next event that I'm going to, that's not like just a local game store event, is the Portland SCG Con. So I will have gotten to go to 3 SCG Cons in a row. And I am trying to make Sorcery Con work. So let me know if you're going to Sorcery Con. All right, I decide not to block the attack. I take the 3, I risk it. I'm shaking. It's very scary, but we do have Koi Nixie to pull in their Boudica. So if I can somehow maybe pull it in, let's see. I see an undertow in the hand, which would allow me to pull either myself away or pull them in or push them away, assuming that it's in a body of water. Again, I'd be able to help analyze this if I could see my stinking hand on what our options are. Snowball is always an option. To get rid of one of the Boudicas, I suppose I could move my Tawny over to the right and then just cast a Snowball. That would be 1, 2, 3. Killing one of them and then trinket the Koi Nixie and attack into the other one. Right? I think that would work. Yeah, if I tap to play a site here, I'd have 6 mana. Give Tawny a trinket for 1, and then pay 5 for the Snowball, moving the Koi... No, Koi Nixie would have to move... Wait, Tawny would move over. Yeah, that would work. Tawny moves to the right. Snowball, killing the one in the middle, and then trinket, trade Koi Nixie for the other Boudica. Wipes the board, resets everything. That's like what where my head is at currently, but let's see what past me ends up doing. Not attacking. I move. I think it... Oh, that even better, right? We're using the Koi Nixie effect. I love Koi Nixie. I even totally forgot. Another snowball. He goes, no! Another one. So I think what was going in my head at that time was basically what I was saying to you guys. Like, oh, I can move the Tawny. But it was like, well... like to save the Koi Nixie, but it's like, but I could just use the Koi Nixie to pull it over, and then I get them all, and then I keep my Tawny. So let's just do that. He's hanging. That's a fist of frustration, and then a thumbs up of good sportsmanship. That's awesome. Shoutouts again to Cal, the gentleman who I'm playing against. He was a good sport. It felt like bowling, I think was the... And I think in this deck, without pulling up the deck list, sorry, I don't have it up. I believe we only had 2 copies. So it was like, those are my only 2 copies. I use an undertow to push my avatar. Staying within this body of water, move target 1 step. Gives me a mana, trinket the Tawny, get him for 2 on the pond. So I'm at 3 and he is at 9, I believe. Yes. That's the other one too, like I already mentioned though, but I'll just be using my phone to use like an app for the life totals because it picks up on the camera really well. Then no editing's required. You guys can see the life totals and Bob is your uncle. Got him down to 9 life. He does have a lot of spells and you know, he's playing Steam Druid, which says to me a lot of Genesis Vial Imps, a lot of charge. I wouldn't be surprised if he was able to get me to door this turn through some sort of charge effect. In which case we would just flip to Bruin and keep hiding over in that corner. So I started preemptively kind of moving to the corner. Because that will be the corner we end up hiding in if we decide to. Again, I wish I could see my hand, but I don't know what threats yet. Instead of showing the camera my hand, I just placed them upside down here, so we will never know. Unless you guys happen to catch it in a previous hand when I didn't. I believe we have a pirate ship. I'm trying to get a glimpse of it, and I just can't see it. I don't think swap has been used yet. I think we still have swap and pirate ship, but forgive me if I'm wrong. Again, try to improve on future commentary. Just bear with me for these ones. All right. Sight on the back. Snowball, he asks, is Snowball exceptional? Meaning there's potentially a third one in the deck, but secret between you guys and I, there was only 2. He's like, not another stinking Snowball. I see a Morgana. Is that Morgana or was that? I may have missaw that. I'm sorry. Putting Violent there. It is Morgana. Okay. So yeah, Morgana comes in. It's going to be a very meta card still, even with Gothic coming out. I think it'll always be good. We're going to adjust 3 of her own spells and may cast them, and comes in with stealth. So she's stealth, and I think I see a polymorph was the only card I recognize out of that hand. But only Morgana can cast it, and as soon as she does, she loses stealth. So then she's vulnerable to potentially getting killed. So it's, you get dig for 3 spells, and then play your best spell and hope that Morgana is able to play more than one. But only she can cast them. So it kind of goes into a separate pile of 3 cards. Lord only knows what the other 2 cards are. Flipping for Bruin here. Starting to feel the pressure. We're not going to go to door. Well, I may go to door this next turn, but if I can prevent it by flipping now, and I don't need the 7th mana. And just confirming here that does her taking damage from like an AoE effect or a snowball? Well, snowball's a projectile, so that wouldn't count, but would taking damage remove stealth? And the opponent said no. It has to interact with the realm to lose stealth. There's probably some other new rules text on stealth that I'm not considering, but that's generally the idea. A move and attack, or I don't think picking up is interacting with the realm. So I believe with stealth you can move. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I think that's the case. I think you can move and pick up an item, and it's like thematically that makes, or flavor wise that makes sense, right? Like something that's stealthed in the shadows, it picks up something and then it runs away with it. I believe that's how it works still. But yeah, it's bittersweet. I will miss the Druid. I think it was very, very dominant. It was just such a flexible card. It had so many things going for it. To see the nerf makes sense, but just a little sad because I don't know when and if I will go back to the Druid. It may just be a good memory, but who knows? Right now, I'm actually really excited about the Interrogator. I'm trying a mono water frog aggressive deck. They added so much cards that can be cast to any site in the form of either Voidwalk or the Sewer Rats. So you can put a Sewer Rat right under their avatar on turn 1, and then just trade it on turn 2, making them take an extra 3 damage, so they take 4. Then you get frogs going, and eventually they're letting you draw cards. Alright, using 4 of my 6 mana to play a Lord of Unland. So other allies in the body of water gain +1, and I play it submerged. That's on purpose, in case he has a projectile. It will not die to that effect. Going for a sight. He said that's awkward. I'm curious what it is. He's got 6 mana. Looks like he's tapping to play the 7th in the form of Boneyard. So each player gets to summon a minion, and I only have Koinixie, and it's not a bad card. It's a bummer to have it in the corner there. But Boudica is now back, which is... Well, let's see. If he does attack with Violamp, I could block with the Lord of Unland, but it looks like we're doing a move and attack with Morgana Le Fay. That puts me at door. Polymorphing the Bruin is brutal. Arguably should have blocked. Oh no, yeah, it was a stealth attack. Cannot be blocked. So disregard that comment. That's the benefit of stealth. You get one attack for free. One unblockable attack, rather. Saracen Raiders. Moving up Tawny, so they're just kind of moving in here. And that was just someone coming by, chucking the deuces and flashing his fancy watch. I know nothing about watches. That was someone just passing by. Again, really, really positive vibes at sorcery events. People are just really, despite it being kind of like a high stakes tournament, the vibe that I felt was just that everyone's just having fun. Very sportsmanlike. People are trying to win, but overall people are smiling and shaking hands. And so I'm just trying to calculate how many blockers I'm going to need to prevent that damage. If he moves and attacks the druid, I could block with the frog. If he attacks with Morgana Le Fay, then attacks... Well, Saracen Raiders needs a couple of moves. I need to pull that card up. It's maybe cast at any site without enemies. So I suppose the idea of playing it over there is it prevents me from running over that way. Or perhaps it was in preparation for a potential snowball, I guess is probably where his head was at. Because I would personally play the Raiders on that Autumn River, just one step to the left. And then really corner me into that left corner. But if I'm able to move and then play another snowball, I don't know. Think it out loud. That would be 1, 2, 3. So just deciding what I want to draw here. This is an interesting part of Sorcery, which is different from a lot of other TCGs. And just you decide which deck to draw from, and sometimes that's the longest part of your turn. Like, all right, if he does this, I need a spell. If he does this, I need a site. Can I afford to draw the site and play the spell? It's a lot to consider. And it's where the beauty of like the chess part of Sorcery really shines, I think, in moments like this. The fact that I know he can't cast things at instant speed is just such a different approach to a card game that I think I know I can definitely say myself, but I think most players, if not all, in Sorcery really appreciate that aspect of it. It's like it's more like a board game. Past turn of Monopoly, you get a full turn and then you pass your turn. So then on your opponent's turn, you're thinking about what you want to do on your next turn, rather than having to be on the edge of your seat, ready to react to whatever they do. You're just like, okay, whew, I got through my turn. Let's think about the next turn. All right, so we polymorph Morgana Le Fay because a frog has 0 power. So unless they buff it up with a trinket or something. Oh, and her spells were a Mask of Mayhem and something else. Those are now not relevant to the match. Move my druid over to the left. So again, the fact that his Saracen Raiders is 1 over, I mean, I guess it being on the Autumn River would still require him to move over here, but he could move over and kill my frog, and then I'm just curious about what the reasoning for the placement. I'm sure there must be some reason behind it, but I'm not experienced enough to know. We've got Koinix and Boudica over there to the side, so if Boudica ever moves, I can just pull it back. The opponent talking to another friend about the previous Sorcery Con. Like I said, I am trying to make Sorcery Con work. I will let you guys know if I have any updates, whether or not I can go to Sorcery Con. But if you're planning to go to Sorcery Con, please leave a comment. Let me know. It's not that I don't want to go. That's a guarantee. I'd love to go. But I've gone to a couple events this year and just need to figure out if I can, you know, swing the PTO and the money. And I did hear that Sorcery Con is a 4-day event this year, because I think last year they had problems where events were stacking on top of each other. Interesting. Moving here, pulling Vile Imp over. And it doesn't have to be within a body of water is what the opponent was asking. Which it's one of the parts that I even forget. It makes Koinixie so good. There's so many situations where you want to pull in something. And he says, I think I got you. And I say, no! Plays a sight. Moves up with Tawny. Lava flow from the Tawny. Knuckles. Very well played. Well deserved. Good game. I was on the ropes for a good portion of that game. And that's, you can see the Steam Druid was, at the time of this recording, a very, very dominant card. One of the top decks in the metagame, and it shows. Pretty good. I tried my hardest, though. I hope you guys appreciate me trying to hang on and keep it going. There's sometimes a way to keep it going and to survive in this game. You get to Death's Door, draw an Atlantean Fate. It's a very swingy game. If you draw the right uniques, it can completely alter the course of a game. And it's what I love about Sorcery. Never give up. There's always a chance that you may come back. And in this case, I didn't quite get there. But that puts us at 3 wins and 2 losses at the point of this recording in the tournament. So I'm feeling bummed, like, darn it. If I want to get to top 8, I'm going to have to either tie for someone probably and hope that my opponent's win record is stronger than whoever I tie with, because even if I win the next 2 rounds, that would mean I have 5 wins and 2 losses, and there's bound to be other people who have the same. So just kind of feeling, I might not get to top 8, but either way, we're here to learn. We're here to keep, you know, do our best. So start shuffling and getting ready for round 6. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. I will see you guys in round 6. I'll get that uploaded shortly. Again, if you guys are planning to go to any of the upcoming events, please let me know. I plan to go to Portland SCG Con, and I'm going to try my best to go to Sorcery Con. No promises. I'll let you guys know if I can go. And if you guys enjoy the content, please let me know by either letting me know with a comment, leaving a like, or subscribing to the channel. I'm new and I'm improving, and it's only going to get better and better as we go on. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.